Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This one's going to be in standard definition because I feel as though standard definition is fitting for the type of video that I'm going to be making today. Now, as you can probably tell from the title, I got this Kenwood stereo. It is a dual dubbing cassette player. It can be hooked up to FM and play some music from back in the day, and there, believe it or not, are still some bands releasing on cassette because it's much cheaper. And that's one of the things that was appealing to me. I actually bought this for $5, and it came with 3 cassettes. I actually got this at Goodwill. Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night, Billy Joel, The Stranger, and Foreigner. Now, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to digitize your tapes, because these things cannot last forever. Most of them have been around for at least 15 years, and eventually they are going to break. So if you wish to preserve your investment, then you can just follow these simple steps. Now, the items that you're going to need are going to be, of course, the stereo cassette, or I believe this can even be done with a simple Walkman, but this is a far more studio end and the kind of thing that you would have in your living room back in around the 80s and 90s. I know that 90s, for some weird reason, is really popular with 14-year-old girls from now on. Oh yeah, 90s kid, but we're not going to be talking about that crap. We're going to be talking about real 90s. We're not going to be talking about the 3 years that you lived through the 90s. We're going to be talking about some real good music and what really I think nostalgia's all about. Of course, I cannot get really nostalgic for it. I'm just now discovering Foreigner. Just listened to it like 20 minutes ago. But anyway, back on topic, what you're going to need is your stereo. And you're going to need one of these adapters. This one I actually got with a Turtle Beach, but you can buy these, I'm sure, at Radio Shack. You're going to want to get 2 of these left and right audio male to 1 female 3.5mm jack. So unless your stereo or Walkman actually contains just the straight up hookups, then you can pretty much ignore this part of the digitization process. Now, before I continue, I figure we may as well just listen to a bit of this music. Now, with the YouTube copyright police, I don't really fear them, because I'm always in YouTube really for the fun of it. I'm just a filmmaker and just a regular guy. I do not plan to profit off of YouTube. And I'm sure that 5 seconds of Billy Joel is not gonna really ruin anything. This is called The Stranger. It actually works pretty well. Technically, I guess you could call this a mono. Technically, you could call this a mono right now, because I do not have it hooked up to the stereo system. The stereo system is actually behind my monitor over there. I've got a subwoofer in that, but this is just the little speaker that I took out to test it with. Yeah, so continuing on. Next, what you're going to need is just a standard male-to-male 3.5mm jack. It does not have to be you know, really fancy or anything like that. A lot of people do not have these things laying around anymore. They most likely only have an extender cable for like their Turtle Beach on their Xbox. But as a filmmaker, I actually use one of these things on a regular basis. I have a ton of these things kicking around because they work well for connecting mics. I'm not to the pro level to where I'm actually using XLR. I've used XLR in the past with the XL1, but I don't use the XL1 anymore. That's kind of beside the point, but you plug that straight into the mic jack on your computer. You can even do this on a PowerBook or even a Power Mac G5, G3, it'd even work. It's got enough horsepower. So you're going to disconnect this, and basically what you're hoping to do here is make it so it functions as if it's a mic. See if I can do this one-handed. So it's going to function as your computer's mic. And it just asked me if that is a mic in, and yes, it is a mic in computer. And now we've got a microphone connected to the computer. Okay, so everything is all hooked up. All the connection leads and everything are plugged in. The tape is fully rewound, and that is connected straight up there. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to search online and get this little lady of a program called Audacity. It's a free program. It's a great program. It'll work on anything from a G3, Windows 95. You can find some older versions up there, all the way up to computers of today like this workhorse. This is a beast of a system. It's an amazing, amazing rig. I love the 660. I love the quad-core CPU. It is just great. 16 gigs of RAM, but the only thing that's really holding this thing back, I think, is a hard drive. I really do need a fast SSD. I may be moving to an all SSD array because I'm hoping that 2 terabyte drive is going to bring down the 512 gigs a whole bunch. But again, I'm just rambling, but it's my channel. I can do what I want. But you people obviously clicked on the video to see how to digitize. So you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on record. And what that will start doing, it'll start recording an MP3 file. And then you just hit play. And it starts playing the tape. And there you are with the tape. And you pretty much just got to let this thing play. So there's, you can see how it's going like that. So it's mainly on the left side. And there is our music. So we pretty much just let the tape play out. And then we'll move on to the next step. Now I realize that this can take a lot of time, but pretty much just be patient and just let the tape play out. Trust me, it's going to be well worth it once we get to the next step. You know, just crack yourself open some Crush. I'm going to clean my lens and watch some Hulu Plus. There's a new Simpsons episode out. So I will see you guys when this finishes playing out. You like Foreigner, kitty cat? Huh, Garfield, you like Foreigner? Yeah, I know you like Foreigner. Okay, so the cassette has now stopped playing and is starting a loop again. So we are going to hit stop on that and then the stop recording button. And now it took around 27 minutes on record. And you can see in between songs there's some clear, you see there's no audio coming through. That is around 5 seconds while the tape is catching up to the next song. But let's have a listen to see how it sounds. Let's start it from the beginning. And it's going to keep going. And I was actually watching The Simpsons. I got 19 minutes left. I love Hulu Plus because although there are some ads, it's pretty nice, I gotta say. It actually comes free with Dish, so. And Digitizes. It's not fully, like, audiophile quality, but it's pretty decent, I would say. This speaker just really doesn't go all that loud, and it did not record it at a very high decibel level. And that is where the next step really comes in. Now I could do some editing in Audacity, but it's just a terrible, terrible program for doing any sort of editing. I pretty much just use it for voiceovers. So you're going to want to go to File, Export, and you're going to want to export the entire tape. I'm going to name this one Billy Joel. I usually touch type, so this feels really stupid. Typing like how a normal person, I think I'm pretty normal. I can type like 90 words per minute, and that's with my eyes closed, and there's no real mistakes, only the occasional mistake with these stupid keys. This is a membrane keyboard, so we're going to save that as a .wav file, not MP3 yet. We're going to get to MP3 in a bit, so okay. And it's now exporting now. Because this is a quad-core processor, it's just going to get blowed through this work. Alright, so it is finished up. That took no time at all. So on to the next step. Now I do realize this is another thing that you kind of have to be a film student to really just have kicking around the house. But if you got it, you can even get a free trial. But just open up Adobe Audition and import that WAV file that we just made right there. It should be somewhere. I just got tons of video files in here. Let me see if I can find it. I think I exported it under Documents. I just got so much crap on here. It's not even just crap, it's just stuff that I have not backed up yet. Like, okay, users, administrator, documents. Hopefully now, oh wait a second, I know exactly where it's exported to because we were doing voiceovers. It's funny. Nom, if you're watching this, when we were doing for the movie, remember when I said remember where we exported it to? Well, it was actually going to be under voiceovers, so I gotta go to, I believe it's under my pictures, so Windows Users, Administrator. I realize that this may not be entertaining to some, but Pictures, Adobe CC Pics, here's the Zoom H1 audio, and it's in a folder called voiceovers, so there we are. Billy Joel. I actually named the project file Billy Jowl just because, to separate it. So now we're going to import Billy Joel, and again, this is quad-core Intel, took no time at all, and now we just drag that onto track 1, and we're going to want to bring up the bass and pretty much just get it to where it sounds really nice. You're going to want to up the decibels because it's going to take it at a rather low volume level, and should sound quite nice when we get done with it. Okay, so now that we've got it where we want it, I think it sounds pretty good. I upped the decibels and I upped the bass just a little bit, and I think it sounds pretty decent. It's not high quality. It's more equivalent to 128 kilobits per second in terms of MP3 file, but to me, I'm not really an audiophile. I use these little things. These are Maxell. I still have not gotten rid of these crappy things, and I really don't have any sort of plans to get rid of them, but you're going to want to make separate MP3s out of every of these tracks. So if you don't know Audition, that's okay. Trust me, you will learn Audition while you're going through this, because you got to listen to each track. At the end of each song, you got to cut it and then export it, and then rinse and repeat until you've got separate MP3s with the song names listed so you can add it to iTunes. Alright, so this should be pretty easy. It's professionally dubbed, so you got a bit of space in between that, so it should be relatively easy to find where the music ends and the static in between begins. And then here's another song, the other song. I can practically count each song, and then here's the long song, and this is side A, and then I can start on the B sides. It takes a long time to do this, but it's worth it for me. I mean, it saves a lot of money not having to buy the stuff on iTunes, and it sounds fine. Okay, so now I've got the song right here. So basically, sounds pretty decent, got it cut together, and this is the one song. I had to pretty much delete the rest of it from this one song so that I could just export the one song as an MP3. This is Moving Out by Billy Joel. So now that we've got our song, we gotta do this for each song that we want to export as a single MP3. So save all audio as, and it's gonna save it as your project name. So what you're going to need to do is change it. So it's going to save it, if you're on a PC and Windows 8, it's going to save it to C, Users Administrator Music by default. You can change it. I'm just going to keep it like that and click Save, and it writes that. And it's going pretty fast. I think it's mostly because of my hard drive is a bit slow. 7200 RPMs is fast, but I mean, when you are exporting a 48 gig file and writing it to the drive, it can kind of get insanely slow. I cannot wait to get an SSD. It's going to be great. And so now we want to add it to iTunes. So here's something I've been meaning to show off. I found this little program called Dexpot. I've been meaning to put it into a vlog. It gives you 8 different desktops. It's a lot like that feature Spaces, only it's better, so it's great. Usually Apple is the one that takes stuff from PC and makes it better, but no, PC kind of got this one with Dexpot. It's a very, very useful program. So now we got iTunes all right here. I've already gotten this one. This is Polycol, I Don't Want to Wait. Most of this stuff has either been taken from CDs, audio cassettes, and bare minimum of those things have actually been bought. So we're going to go add file to library. Like I said, I could just show you here, plug this in and that, but I just want to be sure to guide you guys all the way through the process so that nobody gets mean in the comment section saying that I broke their cassette. So if you follow these instructions, it's pretty much guaranteed to work. And here we are, Billy Joel. Just one thing that I forgot, let's head on back over to here, and let's just go to music and change the name of the file from Billy Joel to, excuse me for a second while I type this in. It's going to be Billy Joel Moving Out dash M-O-V-I-N-G moving out. Alright. And hit enter. So now we can add file and it shows up right there. So that's what I want it to be showing on my MP3 player. And it adds it, and we can just see it right there. Should be under playlists. Here we are. Recently added. And it should be right here. Billy Joel Moving Out, straight off the cassette. And it should begin playing right now if everything worked fine. There's an 8-second delay while the tape started to play, and it should start out pretty decently well. And there is our tape. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe. I do a lot different things on this channel, so it can get interesting at times. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, kick it.